Hello, and welcome to Bat Gothic Reviews. Today we are doing a collaboration top 5 Gothic DIY with TheHauntedBat. She does really fantastic crafts and she has awesome craft ideas. Most of them I'll have to pay my friend Jennifer to implement because she sews and stitches and does great work, and I'm just no good at it and I don't like it. But I like the results and I love TheHauntedBat's ideas. So between the two of us, we have this huge DIY scope of different crafty ideas that are they cover all the different spectrums of anything you can imagine. So check out this video, check out hers, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You will come up with things for yourself that you never imagined doing that are very neat, very awesome, better than what you can buy in stores, and very affordably priced. And they have your own touch where they're exactly what you want, how you want it. And that's the best thing, because when you buy it in a store, sometimes you get what you want, and then sometimes you get almost what you want. It's like, well, that's the best thing there is, you know? It's almost what I want. But when you do it yourself, it's exactly what you want, which is awesome. Nothing like that kind of satisfaction of having exactly what you want. And these are really nice accessories and whatnot. So, without further ado, the first thing I am bringing to you guys, and this is everything I'm showing you, you can do your own thing. I'm showing you what I did, but, you know, it's full of options and flexibility for you to do it your way and your exact style, which is the point of being shown on here. So the first one is steampunk goggles that are fashionable, fancy, and comfortable. A lot of the steampunk goggles are nice, but they're not really dressy. Like if you're wearing a dressy dress, they're not going to work as well. If you just want to be more feminine, they're not going to work as well. And sometimes if you want to be comfortable, they're not going to work as well. I got lucky with these. These are, I didn't DIY. They're copper. I don't know if they're showing that up on camera, but I love them with my hair. I got these from a local steampunk store, but the band is just wide elastic. And that's fine because this one luckily was made to where it was actually comfortable on my head. But 90% of the ones I've tried on, and if you order these online, you won't know. And if you get it and it's going to have the problem that I had with these others I'm about to talk about, you're just going to be having a problem because, you know, there's nothing you can do about it unless you DIY it, which I'm going to show you how to do. So what I'm talking about is when you get them and you make the elastic as loose as it will possibly go, and it's still squeezing your head and pressing the goggles into your face. And, you know, they look great, but they're uncomfortable. And then on certain goggles, just the wide elastic band doesn't look as dressy. These, I think, don't matter because they look kind of just the copper color and the cool little ripples on the sides. They just look good anyway, I think. I think these can carry off the plain black band, so I'm not going to change them. But let's just say you wanted to have a sparkly, glittery band, or just something pink to go with pink and black if the goggles were, let's say, black like the ones I'm about to show. Or you like red and you wanted a red band or whatever. Or in my case, if you wanted a dressy band, because what I did was I got these black goggles at Spirit Halloween. And they're steampunk. They also have the little fancy thing on the sides that I like. And I had the elastic. It was like this, except it was like, I guess, thinner and very tight. No matter how loose I made it, it was pressing my head and not comfortable. And so I bought black lace at our fabric store. It's stretch lace even. So when you make it, it will stretch. It stretches. You see that it boing, 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 which makes it perfectly comfortable because it gives to your head. And the elastic that I said was too tight also stretches, but it was still just so tight that it's stretching, but it's still pressing really hard on your head. So this is fitting you, and it's loose and it's comfortable, but it is not pressing on your head. And you get the benefit of having lace. I tied it. What you do is you just put it around your head, make it, you know, fit that, okay, is this the size I want? Then you tie it in a knot, obviously, and then that's fitting your head comfortably where it's up there, but it's not too tight. And then you have this cute lace. It's kind of like, I guess not cute isn't the word, but it's like attractive lace just dangling down in the back, like where it just kind of hangs down into your hair, which I think looks nice, especially again with a dressy dress. So the point of this is it is loose, it stays on, and it's easy to take on and off without pressing you, but not loose as in sliding off your face, because you're going to tie it to your own specifications. And what you do is you just cut the lace. I would say I like have extra than the waist lace, cut it and have it too short. So I would say cut a good 1.5 foot of lace, and on either side. So that would be 3 feet of lace you want to buy, and it's very inexpensive. It's stretch lace. Go into any fabric store and ask for stretch lace in whatever color you want, or if you're ordering it online. But that is a nice little pattern on it, and again, it's just lace that stretches. So this is black stretch lace, but if you wanted glitter, or you wanted pink, or you wanted red, or you wanted green, or whatever you happen to find, I advise something stretch, but you know, something that looks elegant and nice in your style. Then I give 1.5 feet on either side to give extra, because if you cut it too short, you've wasted it. Now you can't use it, and it's too short. You want to give it some give and some room. And then you fold it in half, slide it through this hole, obviously after you have cut the black tight band off of it. You just cut it with scissors, it's easy. Then there's a hole right here on the side that, you know, obviously the black band was in that was too tight. So then the lace goes through it very easily. It's just a wide hole in these lightweight plastic goggles. So it's very easy to get to and to use. So you run the lace through the hole, do the same thing on the other side, then put it on and just tie, I would say 2 good shoestring knots in the back of your head. And by shoestring knot, I just mean like this, where you just regular knot and pull it, and then 2. So 2 of them, make sure it won't come undone, and it's not too bulky in the back either. And it's very simple, again, very easy. I already did this, and I didn't feel like undoing it to do it again, but I just thought this is so basic and so easy. I can just show you what I did and describe it, and it's just easy. And then these are goggles, steampunk, with a more elegant look. And if you had wanted a different color other than black, you would have that in the back as well. So I'm gonna turn around, take these other ones off, put them on, and let you see the results. This is how the back looks. You can see the lace hanging down in the hair. Is that coming through, Gomez?
Some of its color might be lost a little, but the thickness is visible.
Yeah, you can see that the lace is, this is the lace, and it hangs down about this far. Now, if you wanted it to hang down further, where it's going down to here, you know, the middle of your back, or if you wanted it to be shorter, obviously you cut it to your specifications when you're done. I just left what was left over and just left it, so. But again, that would be what you want. And because lace has little tiny holes, if you want to put little charms on the end of bats or skulls or whatever your thing is, that could look nice too if you really wanted to jazz it up and put it on the ends of the lace, like I did on my DIY bat hat video. You can check that out. It's some videos back, but we have several really good videos that are already recorded that you might not have seen. So it's a DIY bat hat video. And in my bat hat video, I also used lace, and I dangled some charms at the very tips of the lace that were hanging down into my hair like that. At the very end here. So I didn't really see a need to do it with the goggles, but you can do it if you want to. I already had it on my bat hat, so I was like, okay, I'm covered with that. So yeah, but you know, that's another addition if you choose to do that, and I kind of showed those on my bat hat when I designed that. So these are light. They're not sliding off my face. They're comfortable. They're not pressing. They're just there, because that lace has give, but it doesn't have as much you know, pressure as the elastic did. This elastic, I just got really lucky. I was so happy. I tried on one pair in the store. They were tight. I tried on these. I'm like, oh my God, these actually are comfortable. So I got lucky. But again, online, you're not going to know that. And again, if you wanted a different color and something fancier, these look more elegant from the sides and the back with the lace. So again, just a nice way to have elegant, dressy kind of goggles with your dress. I'm wearing a long red velvet dress now, and these goggles look great with it, and you know, they don't look underdone as they could if they were a different style. And I was able to do that with the lace very simply. I think it was less than $2 for the lace I got. Actually, it was. So not expensive at all. The goggles were $8, and I got them from Spirit Halloween, but there are other places you can get them. These are a lighter weight plastic than these. These are like welding steampunk goggles, and these were from a local store again, but I'm sure she ordered them online as far as the owner. These are heavier, but they're comfortable, so I'm okay with that. But if you get them from Spirit, these are very lightweight. So without that elastic pressing them into your face, they're fantastic, comfortable, awesome, and a fashion statement that you can wear indoors, outdoors, and they're great. So this is my DIY for steampunk goggles that are dressy as well as comfortable. Now this next Halloween craft slash Gothic craft you can use anytime. The one I'm about to show you is more Halloween-y. We already had this done, and the sound did not happen, because technology acts really strange with Gomez and I. Thanks to the Haunted Bat writing me and telling me the sound did not happen, you guys are going to actually get a comprehensive part 2 to actually see. So thank you very much to the Haunted Bat for her help. Like I said, technology just gets really wacky when it comes to us, and when other people can make work, it gets weird and wacky when we try to do it. It's like Harry Potter people when they try to use magic, except probably even more spooky and strange. But without further ado, the thing I was trying to show you was an elegant kind of evening bag with a gemstone handle and a fairy on the bag. It's kind of like a moons and stars bag, and it had a fairy on it and a gemstone handle. What I did was I got a little makeup bag from Dollar Tree, and I put with scissors, I used either ends. I made a hole on either end and made a strap of gemstones on beading wire and just tied it off at the right length. And the bag was already decorated with moons and stars, and I kind of used at each end, like here and let's just say here, even though the bag was totally different than this. I made holes, ran the wire through a double strand of the 24 gauge beading wire, strung it with gemstones, measured it to get the right length, you know, where you put it on your shoulder and see if it hangs right, and if it's too short you string more stones, and tied it off. And the wire is bendy, so you just kind of bend it and loop it around. So that's how that works. And then you have a bag with a gemstone handle, and then I had a fairy brooch that I put in the center of the moons and stars bag. So it's a nice little cute elegant idea that I'm only going to get to show you a concept of now because of the fact that I already sold the bag and it was silent. So maybe I'll tack it on at the end, but I probably won't because it was like 15 minutes and it's silent and we cannot fix it. And it wasn't silent when we recorded it. It wasn't silent when we compressed it, but when we uploaded it, it decided to be silent. So who knows? Unexplained mysteries. But this is another one that I have sold, but I still have it here. So Lauren gets to have her bag on YouTube. This is Halloweeny. It's a pumpkin bag. And as you can see, the handle is full of these, if I want me to get it closer to you, pumpkins with the little face that I showed the beads on a Fire Mountain haul earlier from, I think, August, and that's the back of the pumpkin. So these are just little acrylic pumpkin beads. They're comfortable on the shoulder, and it's a black cord. Actually, I used the black cord that they came on, and because it's thick enough, it's probably, I'm guessing, 4 mil thick, 3 mil thick, and it's sturdy. And it's just like a little makeup bag design, but it's going to be like a little small purse, clutch purse size little going out bag now. And I decided, whereas when I did the gemstone bag, I had the handle starting here and then looping around and ending here, I just did this one kind of in the middle because it felt right creatively. So I just used, I opened the bag, so I only used this one side of the bag instead of both like I did on the gemstone one that is now silent and out of commission. And I used scissors, stuck a little hole that's not very visible, put the cord through it, did like a, you know, double knot where you loop it around like this and tie it and pull it through. And now the knot is big enough that it won't come out of the hole, which is obviously desirable because you don't want it to fall off while you're wearing it. And then zip it closed, and I used the beading wire that I spoke of that you'll see later in this video on another project. I used the 24 gauge beading wire to, it's very bendable like bread ties kind of, so it's really easy to work with and mold and sculpt, and I used that to attach a little pumpkin to the zipper, so that's how you add more decor to bags with the zipper. And now the strap is a pumpkin, and you just toss it over your shoulder if you want to show the top view of that, Gomez, and it hangs right almost at my hip, which is just the length I chose. You can choose whatever length you want, and you don't need to use pumpkins if you do not want to use pumpkins. I did show everybody where to get the pumpkin beads, and this is just like a little makeup bag. You can use any bag you want, but if you don't want to use pumpkins, you can use skulls or gemstones, like I used crystals in the video that is no more, little round crystal cylinders that are also in the Fire Mountain haul. So it's just the concept of how to make your own bag by getting a bag without a handle and make your own handle with beads of your choice, be they gemstone, you know, quartz, amethyst, onyx, whatever, or a shape like these are pumpkins, or if you had skulls or acrylic bats or whatever you have, you know, it's your concept of how to make your own bag, you find a small handleless bag, whether it be a makeup bag or whatever. Dollar Tree has nice ones. Obviously, so does like Walmart, or I'm sure Primark if you're in the UK, at a decent price. Get a bag with a design you like, and then you design your own handle as well, and then it's your perfect little small kind of going out bag. And this is obviously a seasonal one. So, and where I put the handle on this side, you obviously wear it this way so that that part's against you and hangs from the middle, and then the little pumpkin on the zipper. So, and the bag being black, it's easy to match with anything and easy to match the pumpkins with. So I chose that. And then I brought another example of one that I added. I've reviewed this bag already. It's a backpack called Renfield from Creatures of Delight, because Renfield is my favorite even when he's in little cute monster form. But I got the spider from Dollar Tree on a haul that we did also in August from, it was like on a kind of Mardi Gras looking necklace bead of skulls and bones. And I did something else with the necklace and sold it. And I put this spider with just like a large jump ring, kind of key ring style, on Renfield's zipper. Because, you know, Renfield needs a spider. You got to have a spider for Renfield. So it just looks neat. It's easy to work with, and it gives an extra decor, decor touch to the bag. And that's, if you already have a bag that is made up and you like it the way it is, but you want to throw something extra on, it's easy to get a bat or a spider or a skull or whatever you want and just attach it either with the crafting wire, or like I did in this case with a large jump ring. You just stick it through the hole of the item, like the spider hole here at the top, and then the hole of zipper. It's pretty quick. Actually, the spider took longer than I expected because his legs were in the way, so it took me like 2 minutes instead of 2 seconds. I'm like, really? Get on there. But it's a bigger piece than I usually attach to a zipper, but it's so lightweight, and I really like the spider and wanted to do something with it that I could use frequently enough, so this bag is just perfect for it. So that's just another idea of how to DIY, add style to your own bag. But and the brooch idea that I had in the other video that is no more, that I'm not going to bring up after this is done, it was just a fairy brooch that I got from Fire Mountain. It's not in the haul, but it's a very solid kind of safety pin style fairy brooch, and it won't come undone unless you want it undone, which is what I like. You won't have to worry that it will come off. And it's a sitting fairy. I think they were like $2 and some for 2, and they're very thick, sturdy, nice pieces. But I just had the brooch, the bag again was like moons and stars, and I had the fairy just kind of sitting right here in the middle, and it's easy to pin a brooch on a bag. So consider brooches on the front of a bag, if it's a good solid brooch with a good clasp, a good way to DIY something and add imagery and decor to it if you want a bag with a fairy on it. It's a nice 3D solid brooch, so it's kind of, to me, nicer than a picture of a fairy because it won't fade, it's thicker, stands out more, and it looked great against the little moons and stars. I think it was just stars, actually. It wasn't moons and stars. It was just stars on the bag. I think they were blue with a blue background, and that was a Dollar Tree, and I put the fairy brooch on it. And again, the handle was clear quartz beads. So that was a totally different design than this one, so I'm kind of glad I got to show the pumpkin one for this time of year. But it's just a different concept. Keep it in mind. I'm sorry I'm talking about it instead of showing it, but the mishap happened, and I'm just lucky to have this bag here, so I had something to show it all. So yeah, and these pumpkins are lightweight, and they're a little bit bigger than the crystals were, but again, they're acrylic, so they're not heavy, and I think that my customer will enjoy it, and it's nice that it's gotten to be cameoed on YouTube. So there we go. This next DIY is a ring, and because I have gemstone ring orders right now and nothing Gothic, you're going to have to help me out by using your imaginations and pretending that this turquoise rectangle, Gomez, you can show them an up close of it. It's a chunky turquoise rectangle that's going to be a ring. And pretend like it is a skull or a bat or a coffin. Let's make it a coffin because it's a rectangle. But if you want it to be a skull or a bat or a vampire fang or something else instead, or a gargoyle or a tombstone, it can be whatever you want. But anyway, for this Gothic ring design, this piece of turquoise is going to substitute, because anything you want it to be, like if you're going to make your own ring, just make sure it's a bead with a hole, because that's the demo I'm doing today. There are ways to wire wrap a single piece without a hole and make a ring, but right now, today, we're keeping it simple, and I'm showing you how to do a ring with a drill hole. So you could get a skull bead or a coffin bead or whatever bead you wanted, and I'm using the same beading wire that I used I'm using the silver version that I showed you the spool of that I used when I did the bag. And I'm doing about, I would say when you do a ring, do about 1.5 feet of wire to give yourself enough. So this is the wire. I cut that already and it's ready. And this is a turquoise bead. You just stick it on the wire. And you can use a ring sizer, like those little ring charts. I have those little paper ones that have each hole in its size, and you can just put the wire around it, or you can use your own hand if it's a ring that you're doing for yourself and your size, because then you know your comfort and how it's comfortable for you. You would just like, you know, let me take my bat ring off here, like put it on your hand and then do it. But we're going to use Gomez's hand. But what I do to close the ring, I will like get the wire, bend it around, and then it keeps the size where I want it. And then periodically I'll try the ring again on my hand or Gomez or whoever I'm using the right size for, and make sure that the ring is still the size that I want it to be, that it didn't change, because sometimes the wire can slip and it can get bigger or smaller. So, but anyway, first I'm going to use Gomez's hand, because this ring, the order for this one is a size 10, and this is his finger. That is a 10. Such lordly, elegant hands. I like. Okay, now I'm going to try this on his hand. It moves a little. Let's give it a little bit of give, something like that. Okay. I have to move it up and down to make sure it'll go on and off over his knuckle. So I did that. Now I'm twining it around. Just twirl it around itself, like when you close a bread tie or something, just to hold the size. And again, you want a bead, you know, so anything you want, an acrylic or metal or wood or bone or whatever you find that you want to make a ring of, that, you know, you go, wow, I really like this design. I'd like it if it were a ring. Skull, coffin, bat, gargoyle, black flower, you know, whatever you can think of that you would want. Okay, let me borrow your hand again. You're going to have to give me your hand a lot. You know the drill. He's like, oh, God. I get so tired of being a hand model.
That's what Think would say.
Well, yeah, Thing is busy still playing with that heart over there that he was playing with. I think when we reviewed Cousin It, we had Thing start, and he was playing with the heart. So if you haven't seen Cousin It's video, check it out, and you'll see what Thing is doing, why he's not helping right now. He's just being lax. He's obsessed with the heart that he's playing with, that he manages to keep still beating in his hand. Okay, so I got it the right size. I'm holding this, and what you do is I'm just kind of twirling the wire around itself, basically, to make a nice little twirly fancy band. So it's like that, and then just keep bringing it back around through it, and you cover this straight part of the wire, and, you know, with the wire, and make it twirly wire. So, like this. Around, and then see how it's starting to look spirally. And we're going to do it several times to make the band nice and thick. Around. There's machines that do this too, but then it's kind of perfect, and it doesn't give that spiral look. And I like the spirally look that you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm done. It looks older and neat, and it's not hard to just do it with your hand. So, now we've done the first one. Now we're going to start over from this part at the end and loop back and start the second round. You just keep doing it because you want to make the band thicker and more sturdy, because right now I could still bend it and make it all squishy, but by the time we're done, it'll be hard and sturdy, yet still lightweight. Because if it were a solid silver band like this, it would like be way heavy by the time I'm done. So it's pretty lightweight. I'm using coated wire, so it won't turn or tarnish easily. So you don't have to pay for sterling, and you can still have a nice look. And if you wanted, like, they have black wire too, or you just all kinds of different colors, purple if you wanted to get, like, colorful. Or if you wanted a black band with a skull or something on it, get the black beading wire. And 24 gauge. The thicker gauge, you think, oh, that'll make a great band. Let me borrow your hand again, dear, to make sure I'm still good on my size. And I am. Oh, lovely, lovely. I love it. It sometimes shifts and stuff, and you're, oh, now I have to adjust it. But anyway, just keep checking and checking, and it's always all good. But if you use the thicker wire, you think, oh, great, that'll make a thicker band with less of this around and around stuff. But it's harder to manipulate it when it's thicker. You don't want to use like 26 gauge because that's too thin. So 24 is perfect. It's like Goldilocks. It's right in the middle, and Goldilocks likes it, and so do we. So the thicker one, again, it's harder to manipulate. The thinner is too thin, and that's what it is. You might find that you have too much wire when the band seems like it's done and it's good, And you just cut it and use the rest for something else. Better to have, again, too much than too little. If you accidentally do get too little, just close it off. That I'll show you how to do in a second, and then just get another piece of wire and start adding to the band. Again, it's easy to do. Now, I think that I got extra wire. I think this is done because it's a nice hard, it's not bending. I could make it thicker because the stone is big, but I don't know. Do you think I should make it chunky to go with the stone, or should I leave it?
It looks like a proper balance to me.
You like it this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to stop. And I'm like, let me ask Gomez what he thinks. If you wanted it flat, you just take needle nose pliers and pretend like my fingers are the pliers, and you go squish, 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 and it's flat and wavy. But I don't want to do that with this one, so that's why I had pretend needle nose pliers with my fingers to just show you. And it looks the same as just a flat, wavy look. Which also comes in handy if you made it a little bit too small, just a little bit. You can do that with the pliers. It's still a pretty band. It's flat and wavy, and it makes it slightly larger. Now I have a lot of wire left, so what I will do is use that wire for something else, which is good. Now I'm not completely out of wire, yay. Because I was, when I was doing this, I realized Gomez kept saying, get beading wire, and I'm like, oh, I'm good, I have a ton. It's one of those that you have a ton until you don't, and you like have none, and you're like, I had a bunch like a second ago, and now I have none. So anyway, this is how the ring looks. Gomez, you can give them a close-up of the band, since you're the camera guy. And I like that little twirly kind of look that you mainly get with your hand and not the machine. It's going to be a different look with the tool you get. So that didn't take long at all just to do with my hand. I like the way it looks. Again, you could use black wire, you could use silver, any kind of charm you want. Or not charm, any kind of bead you want in the middle, or you could use a charm. I did one with a little fairy charm, a very small one, and it was just one of those that swing and dangle from your finger, you know, and so she was still in the middle of the band, but make it a small one, because if you get even like an inch charm, that's going to be chunky and in your way, because it's going to move and swing and stuff as you move, so you could actually use a charm, but I'd get a small one. And those are nice too. So that is the DIY Gothic ring. Now I'm going to show you how to make your own Gothic barrettes. Now, the barrette pack I'm using, you can get these at most craft stores. I got them at Walmart, but if you have like a hobby store or even like a fabric store, you can find them. Gomez, you can show them the pack or like up close. This is 2-inch barrettes, and then they have the same kind in 3 or 4-inch barrettes if you want like large ones. The ones I'm showing today are the kind that you pull like your hair back, one on either side, you know, just like pulling the sides back so you have matching barrettes. But you would do the same thing in this style for the longer ones if you wanted to do one where both sides of your hair are pulled up on top in one big one. Like where you just comb the sides up and pull them up together on top. So anyway, but right now I'm doing the 2 set. I'm showing that, or just a one single one that I'm happening to just use a smaller one for. Now, this is how the barrette looks on its own. You want to show them closer? And it has a hole on either end where you attach your wire, and then you can do beading or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
What I'm doing is, this actually, I get all these things and take them apart and do other things with them, but this, I'll show you how it looks with beads as well. But the one I'm actually going to do now, Gomez can also show you close up. It's just a look of an acrylic bat that my friend got me from Walmart several years ago. And it was on a chain attached to either end of the wing with a link. And I'm like, yeah, I don't wear acrylic that much as jewelry, but unless it's earrings because it's so lightweight, but I will do a barrette with this. So then I did, and then I had a bat barrette, and it was my first bat barrette, and then I decided to change the barrette, so I'm going to do that as a DIY right now and show you. So, is that a good level?
Yes.
He's my cameraman, so I'm always checking in with him. Okay, so you put it through the hole, obviously here, and then I'm putting it through the hole of the barrette, if it will behave. This is, again, my 24 gauge beading wire, which is just great for doing this. And actually, I went too far. Okay, so to close it on the end, like I just put the barrette through the hole and the wire, and you just wind it around. Oops. You know, I jumped the gun a little bit. I should have put this on and then the bat, but it's been one of those days. Okay, so to put the wire, you got the wire through the barrette hole, and then I just kind of twirl it around and around. Is this good?
Yes.
And just, then it looks like that on the end. So that it's all neat and tidy. Then I just put it through the hole here. Come on. And this is so fast, it's even quicker than beading because this is one straight long bat going across. So now he's just gonna lay right across this barrette. See, it fits perfectly. And then I'm going to put it through the hole over here. This hole is so little, where is it? There it is. Okay. And, oops, I don't want the silver in my way. This has been one of those days where I've been trying to get way too much done. I'm sorry.
Well, that could also be educational, the way things don't work.
Don't go it the wrong way, because then the silver will be on top of the bat instead of under the bat on the barrette where you want it. Okay, so now I went under instead of on top because then you don't want to see the silver all over his face or body or whatever. And now we're going to put it through the end here. And just pull it snug so that the wire doesn't crimp itself up when you pull it through the hole. There you go. And that's how it looks on the barrette.
Nice.
There it goes. He was trying to flip himself over. He wants to be an acrobat. Ha 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 ha. The most horrible joke of the day. But, you know, I said horrible, so it has horror in there. So it still works. So I'm going to tighten that a little, but that's the cute bat barrette. And if you wanted to do that with beads instead, you know, you see how to put it on the ends and open and close it, and then obviously you cut the wire off here. But if you want to do it with beads, you can. All my bats are trying to fly today. My mom got me these cool wooden beads. It's the same barrette. I just put a wooden bead on, then put the bat in the middle, then put another wooden bead on, and there you go. These bats we found in a thrift shop, they're so fat and 3D and cute, and they're like hanging upside down. I think they're wood or something, and they were earrings, and no way can I wear earrings that big, but I thought that would look so cute as a barrette. I want to show them.
It's visible.
Doesn't need to be closer. Okay, and that's the way it looks. And then over here, that's his 3D. But you know, he hangs down just when he's clipped onto the sides of your hair. My goggles are in the way right now, but he hangs down like that, and that's how he looks. And I did the same with a spider, just a bead, and then I put the spider, you know, where he's dangling, and then another bead. So it's the same concept I did with the bat, except he was stationary just across the barrette, and these are dangling down into the hair. So it's just like, which look do you want to do? And then you choose whatever beads you want. I just chose the wooden ones because I like it, that kind of autumny color with the bat and spider. But if you'd wanted skull beads or, you know, whatever with your spider hanging down, obviously you just do that so that it is your taste and preference and it reflects what you're interested in doing. But, you know, I showed you how to do the beginning and the end wraps. That's how the wire looks wrapped around. See, the same way on the barrette. And you can do the little sets or the big ones, and the holes in the barrettes make it really easy to make it stay on. So that's nice. And also, you know, you would just pick your own bead styles, your own like little things that you want on them, and then you have your own personalized barrettes, which are going to be way better than what you find in stores, probably because you're getting your exact style preference in there that you like. So these are adorable and nice and easily personalized and quick to make, as you see. Now this is the fifth thing that I'm going to demonstrate today, and I'm going to make a bracelet and show you how to make a bracelet kind of based on this lovely bracelet from Alchemy Gothic, except it will cost you a lot less and it will be straight up black, which some people actually prefer, both cases. If you guys didn't see my review of this Viennese Nights ribbons bracelet from Alchemy Gothic, you take it on and off by lengthening it, and you pull this silver bead down, and then if you want it shorter, you pull it up like that. And so we're going to make a bracelet like that from this bat necklace that came from Walmart for $3 that we did in our Walmart Halloween haul. And again, if you didn't see that one, feel free to check it out. So this bat has holes, kind of like an interesting gate, you know, those old filigree gates. So the good thing about that is when I take this chain off with my pliers in a second, just pull the little jump rings off, and I can reuse the chain and put something else here, maybe a row of stones or whatever. I can reuse this chain and sell it or something. So it's always nice to reuse items, be able to do something else with it. But anyway, when I pull this off to get the chain off, you're going to, you know, have holes here, and that's normally could ruin the effect, except there are holes all over the bats, so it's not really going to matter. And these holes where the chain are not really going to show up one way or another, as they might, let's say, on a necklace like this. This only has the holes at the top, so if I don't use those holes, they're just going to stick out like sore thumbs. But these, again, are not going to, which is good, because there's just holes everywhere, and it's not really going to be obvious that these holes once had a chain in them. Because the thing is, I'm not going to use these holes when I make it into a bracelet, because if I do, I'll show you what would happen. It's going to hang strangely on the wrist. It'll flop up and down and go all around, which is great for what a bat would do on its own, but not so much on your wrist. This one, as you can see, is more stationary, and that's what we want for a more attractive look. That's why I wouldn't make this one into a bracelet, for example, because it only has the one hole, and it's not going to hang right or sit right because they're right at the top, and you're going to want it more centralized on the end. Let's say more toward the middle of the wing, like this bracelet. It's not quite at the very end. Well, actually, it kind of is, but the hole is so wide. These holes are not as wide on these, so I'm probably going to use these loops right here in the middle, like there. Not exactly the middle of the bat, but the middle of the wing, if that makes sense. So right here, so that when it sits on the wrist, it will be here and here where it connects. It's going to stick out on either side, but I don't think it's going to look bad at all. It's just a different kind of style. So anyway, I'm going to use these holes here, and you can kind of decide which holes you want to use by thinking how it's going to close, because if you use the ones on the far ends, this one curves around a little, and so you can use the far ends, but this one is not going to. So if you use the far ends here, it's just not gonna, I don't think, look as good with the ribbon sticking out, and so I think the effect is going to be better using the more curlicue hole right here toward the middle of the wing. So I am going to just take these off with the pliers, and then we will be back. Now I'm just cutting the ribbon. You just kind of assume, you know, by gauging, holding it up, about how long you're going to need it. I'd go a little bit longer, like I said in some other projects here in this video, than you might need, so you're not going too short. This is just thin black silk ribbon. I think it's like a 6 mil or something, but you can go wide or thin depending on the hole that you're working with and the style that you want to use. As far as the ribbon that you want, you know, just again, it's about your own style preference, and I like that. I just happen to have this ribbon right now, so come on, be still. This ribbon is the one that's getting used. Yes, on occasion I talk to inanimate objects and they listen. Oh. So we have this. You just put the ribbon in and loop it where it's evenly matched here. You don't need a knot or anything because of how we're going to do it. I'm just twirling it around my finger to hold it still. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Now we have, to close it, what I'm using is just a kind of spacer bead with little, this is just a tube with kind of fancy filigree on it. And it's nice and wide so that I can get this ribbon all through it. So I'm holding all 4 of the ribbon pieces together and just putting them through together, which is the easiest. And this bracelet is great because it's a one-size-fits-all. You don't have to say, oh, I made it 7, now 2 of them are getting away from me. You don't have to say, oh, I made it 7 inches or so many inches, and it has to fit, because it is a one-size-fits-all, except now it's being unfriendly because it knows it's on YouTube and it's shy. It's like, oh. Okay, so anyway, it's nice to have a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. I'm doing this again because it decided to come out. And I did get this idea from Alchemy Gothic and then just kind of adapted it. And you can do it with so many different centerpieces. I'm doing it with this bat, but it's not like you have to just do this bat. You could use a stone with a drill hole. You could use, you know, obviously a skull or a dragon or whatever, as long as it connected the way you wanted in the middle, and then you would just attach all 4 ribbons like this. and make sure that they're even the way you want them. And this one piece keeps wanting to be evil. All right. I am going to hold these with my hand so that they don't come out again. And what you do is you want this crimper to be flat so that when you slide it up and down, it actually has some effort into it and it won't just go up and down and your ribbon won't come out. So you just get the pliers and hope that the bead doesn't pop out while you squeeze it. You might have to squeeze it a few times to get it as flat as you want it. This one is kind of a hard bead, so it's not exactly a crimp bead. I'm having to kind of use a different bead because of the fact that the crimp bead I have did not want to hold even this thin ribbon, so I need to get more like thicker crimp beads than I actually have. And then once that is done, what you want to do is just like with this bracelet, tie knots in the ends of the ribbon so that they don't come right back out, obviously. And you just do kind of like a tie over knot like this. And then, oops, there you go, the same on this side. And the ribbons can kind of dangle down long, or you can cut them off shorter, just whatever look you're aiming for. And then when you put it on, the effect will be basically, and then you just slide it up when you want it tighter, and it will hang like so. And you can use whatever bead you want at the end. I'm gonna make these shorter probably, but I just wanted them long enough for you all to be able to see. And this crimper is not as tight as I want, so I'm gonna have to keep pressing it or use a different one, but this is the look, and it is doing what I wanted and staying in the middle and not flopping up and down when I move my hand, as it would if I had done one like this. So use a crimp bead that's actually supposed to be a crimp bead, and it will bend properly, and it will give you the friction you want to keep it tight when you slide up and down. And the knots at the end are just in case it does happen to slide down, even though it shouldn't. It won't just keep sliding and fall off the ends of your ribbon and lose your bracelet for you. So it's a very sturdy, durable bracelet because it's hard to lose. And I wear my jewelry all the time. I can be hard on it because I bathe in it, sleep in it, and I need to know that it's going to stay on. So this will actually do that, and it's elegant and it's nice, and the whole thing is black other than the little clasp. And actually probably could find black crimpers too, but you know, it's a black bat bracelet, which is a nice unique touch. And the wings are different when they're sticking out rather than curving, but I don't think different is bad. I don't think it looks bad at all. And you can see the similarity to this, but yet it's different. It's its own style. And so it's quite nice, and it's a lightweight, and it matches with anything. It's very nice, and I enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how to do it. And if you don't want to do a bat, you still see how to apply it with other pieces for a nice concept for a ribbons bracelet with an easy slide that's easy to adjust, take on and off, and whatnot. So thank you for watching this video. If you see this and Haunted Bat's link is not up right away, we're trying to collaborate and get it together, so do check back soon, because you'll want to see her DIYs. They're very different than these, so it's not going to be a repeat, and they're excellent, and they're very skilled in a sense that I can't do them. So it's nice to learn something new that I'm not already doing, and I'm excited about that. So thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. Like, share, and have a dark, crafty day.